much. So now we're going to see our next showcase from Christoph Erb from Karakun. Yes, you introduced yourself.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, my name is Christoph. I really appreciate to be here, and I also appreciated the visions before, because now with the showcase, also from my colleague from T&M, we would like to present you real showcases. Not only vision. As I started 1.5 years ago, and I also started, for me new, this AI world is afraid what happened here, and also I was definitely sure 1.5 years ago, these figures we heard before, 5% of the jobs were replaced. Today I have another opinion. I'm not afraid. And I have also an example from today. Today we received a big, huge tender. Because I started 1.5 years ago, I do not have all the experience from my colleagues. Therefore, I had to start how to answer this tender. And also internally, we have a lot of reports, we have our wiki internally, a lot of information are somewhere. But I don't know where, I don't know how to look for it. Therefore, all relevant data are hidden in some places. If it's our reports, websites, hopefully not physical documents, because then you have to read, but also in emails and these kind of things. And I started this morning to search with our tool to find information, because 1.5 years ago, as I received a huge tender, I have to ask my colleagues, then they're not around, I don't see where are the information. Yeah, it was sometimes a big problem. But we have a solution here, we use it also internally, and we use it also at the customer side, where we call it free your knowledge workers, that you can really work on the real stuff, that you can really decide and not searching for information. Because we heard, what was it? 7.8 hours per day looking to the screen, searching for information that you really can think about. Therefore, we have our solution to find the relevant information in an easy way. And it's not only if I started with AI, as I presented to potential customers, AI is chat. No, it's not only chat. Because chat is just one part, or can be one part, here in the middle. But first of all, we have to think about what kind of use case you would like to support. Is it an automated use case? Is it a chat use case, or the use case with the concierge? It's a different use case. How do you get the relevant data? It's not so easy to access all the data. If it's a public website, is it internally, is it picture, sound files, videos, and so on and so on. And then this analysis enrichment part is also a huge part of our solution. And because this AI world is turning pretty fast, what is the real large language model, or the best large language model? Therefore, we have a lot of adapters, APIs, to connect these large language models. And then at the end, that you can decide. But how is it working? Here are a few examples, real examples. One, I call it always Google for the chemical industry. It's a B2B platform. And in the past, humans have to search the web for new ingredients, to search Google, to find the information, but normally the information was outdated. It was not possible to find the real thing. Sometimes the wording are different. From my point of view, boring work. What we did now, what we are doing right now, we have 750 web crawlers. They are running all the time. They're searching now more than 100 or several 100 websites all the time to search for ingredients. Then extract it, we have it at our database. Today we have more than 75,000 ingredients in the database. We have B2B platform that can search for it. And not all these 1,000 websites, you have to do it manually. It's a lot of work behind to standardize it, to search for it, and it's also easy to use. And also this is a good functionality, the comparison tool. You know it from a B2B store, Digitech or something like this. You can compare this computer with this computer. We can do it also with ingredients. Just one example. This is the machine which is doing it. Few other examples beside my tender. And this, coming back, maybe I start here, for mechanical engineering company, you have the billing and the invoicing process. They were not able to guide their suppliers to use web forms. They want to do it by email, with attachments. It's not possible to guide them that they do it with web interface or something like this. Here we automated the entire billing and invoicing process. At the end, reading emails, extracting attachments, checking is it a bill or an invoice, and then automate it through SAP. And if something is not correct or more complicated, then we have an exception workflow. That you can work on the real hard stuff and not on the, I call it always, the boring stuff. In the financial industry, we have, we call it an industry monitoring. Today, the use case, 2 or 3 people, they're reading a lot of reports, websites, once a month. And normally they do it 2 or 3 days, once a month. Reading, finding information regarding rating, if an industry is changing, and so on and so on. Then they copy it to the rating tool. It's a manual work. And from my point of view, reading a lot of reports, it's not so interesting. We automate this. We read all the time web pages, reports, extract information, present to the knowledge worker. They do not have to read it, but they have also the background information that they can do really the rating, the more interesting work, and so on and so on. And last but not least, it was a little bit more than 1 year ago, a construction company was coming to us and said, hey, we would like to have your AI tool. Construction company? You're doing the real hard stuff with the big machines and these kind of things. But here, also the same thing, tenders. This was the first purpose, because if you are getting a tender from a huge building and so on, sometimes they have tender paper over 1,000 pages. And today, we started this month with the production. In the past, somebody had to read it. 1,000 pages. And it's really boring stuff. I saw it. Today, it's automatically read by our machine. We are analyzing the content. And then what we are doing is, okay, you are responsible for the house, you are responsible for the electricity, and so on and so on. And therefore, you're getting your part, you're getting your part, and we present also from the past similar tenders, how you answered. That you are faster. And this is also something what we see, therefore I'm not afraid about AI. What you see, that with AI, we can automate the boring stuff. Reading, standardize data, make it Also repeatable, because I can say from my point of view, if I read a tender, maybe 2 months later I read it again, I see different things. Maybe I decide all the way around. And also for the industry monitor, they did it once a month. And once a month they're getting the information for changing the rating. Now it's not real time because somebody has to decide, but they're getting real time new information. Therefore they are more actual. And last but not least, it was last week where the project manager from the construction company, after they went in production, said, "Hey, my life is such better. I love it." Increased employee satisfaction. They love to work with this. They do not have to read 1,000 pages. And this is for me, for the new way of work, it's also important. But you said also before, they love to come to the office. They love to work with new technology. And it's also something, if you would like to have talents, that you're saying, okay, we prepare the information, you can really do the knowledge work. You can decide. You do not have to read all the paper. It's also from my end, coming back, as I started, I didn't know the AI tool, how it's working. Today I'm using it for all the tenders. I'm getting the information faster, do not have to read everything, and hopefully I can do now better answers. If you have more questions, how does it work, or if you have ideas, please contact us, because we have also other examples from other industry. Thanks a lot.